Hey guys, so here I am to wrap up the Microsoft E3 conference, and it's actually been about an hour and a half since conference. It's taken me about an hour and a half to really go through everything that they showed us today. These are the pages of my notes. I was basically just writing and scrolling all the way through the conference, and that's because they just showed so many games. As I predicted, this was not a conference for them about hardware. That was last year and the year before. It's now time for Xbox to kick on with software and prove why they think they're the biggest place to play computer games right now and in the future. So they did that by announcing they've got 50 games to show us today. 50 games. Of those 50 games, 18 they call exclusives. I would say that they're not all exclusives. Some of them are launch exclusives, i.e. they're coming out on the Xbox first, or they're console exclusives, i.e. they're coming out on Xbox, but they're also coming out on PC. So maybe not true exclusives, but 18 is still a lot. And on top of that, they have 15 world premieres. So there's so much to go through in terms of games that I'm simply not going to talk about every single game. I have done another video that has basically cut together every single trailer, skipping out all the talking, cut together all the trailers that they showed. And that amounts to around about 53 minutes. So you can catch that. The link to that is in the description below. So all I'm going to do today is just quickly wrap up through the big news and some of the bigger titles that they went through today in the conference. So I'm going to start by talking about the world premiere. So there was 15. I'm not going to talk about all of them. The 5 ones that really stuck out to me, though. The biggest news was they showed the world premiere of the Fallout 76, the big trailer for Fallout 76, and some of the information about the game. Now, the reason why that was a big surprise to me is that in around about 2 hours, Bethesda will be showing their own conference, and it made me wonder why Bethesda not saving that for them. Surely that's their big game announcement. So maybe there's a bigger game announcement coming from Bethesda later today. I don't know. But the big news with Fallout 76 is set in West Virginia. It is essentially the prequel to all the Fallout games. So it is the first Fallout, essentially. It's after the nuclear explosions and everything like that, but they're the first people to be able to come out. The map is said to be around about 4 times the size of Fallout 4. So it's going to be a huge game. They haven't said much more about it from there. Now, my thinking behind it is that with a map that size, there's going to be some multiplayer aspect to the game, whether that is MMO, survival mode, or something more like the Division, where you can bring people in, or like Destiny, for example, bring people into your squad for that particular mission. So maybe that's got some impact to it. Other games that they showed was Sekiro, which looks like a Japanese. When I say Japanese, I don't mean like a JRPG, but like a ninja style of Dark Souls. They showed Tales of Vesperia. So Tales of Vesperia is a great JRPG that came out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. That's been remastered and being re-released later this year. They also showed Dying Light 2, which looks fantastic. Dying Light 2 has some parkour aspects as well as a truly consequential choice system. Essentially, you make choices in missions and that will change the entire game after that. So one of the parts they showed was you make a choice with a company that supplies water, and if you decide to help them out, then water becomes available for citizens. Citizens are happier, but it allows the police to become more brutal on the streets. Or you make a decision to keep the water from the people. The water becomes available on black market, but produces more crime on the streets, for example, and makes the place look a lot dirtier. So I think that looks really interesting, really good. And for me, the biggest news was Division 2, officially announced, officially revealed. Looks excellent. Looks like a massive upgrade to the first. It's set in Washington. It's not as dark looking as the first. The graphics don't look as dark. It's a bit more light and a bit more breezy. Of course, it's still going to be about the same kind of thing, about the virus and everything like that. But it looks like it just looks a lot lighter. And hopefully they fixed out a few of the minor problems with like squad building and matchmaking and things like that to make just a better experience of game. Now, that beta is available for sign up from today, apparently. I have gone online to try and sign up for it, but the internet seems to have crashed the site. So I would just say, if you're watching this video now or watching in a few hours' time, maybe sign up for it the following day. You might find it a bit easy to do so, but definitely sign up for it if you are interested. Division 1 was a great game, so I'm expecting the same from Division 2. So before we move on to the exclusives that Microsoft showed today, we're just going to talk about a couple of bits of news that Microsoft revealed. So they've bought 5 or acquired 5 studios into the Microsoft Studios umbrella. That includes Playground Games and Undead Labs. So they're the companies that provided Forza Horizon series and State of Decay. That's good news for Xbox fans because it means that those games should be continuing in the future. And they've also acquired Ninja Theory, who were known for making Devil May Cry's reboot, 2013's version, Disney Infinity 3.0, and last year's Hellblade. They've also acquired Compulsion Games, who made We Happy Few, or making We Happy Few, that's due out in a couple of months, and a brand new company called The Initiative, set up by the guy that set up Crystal Dynamics. Now, Crystal Dynamics were the people that rebooted Tomb Raider, so they haven't announced what game they're working on at the moment, but with that kind of experience behind it, it should be a big AAA title that will be exclusive to Xbox. The other bit of big news revolves around Game Pass. Now, Game Pass, for those that don't know, is essentially Netflix for Xbox. You pay £8 a month. There's access to 120 odd games, loads of games from Xbox 360 all the way through to current day. Brand new first-party games also get added on their release. So Sea of Thieves is on there right now. Crackdown 3 will be released on there. The new Halo, Gears of War, etc. The big news that came with that is that they've introduced a new mechanism called Fast Start. Like any game when you download them on Xbox, after around about 20% has been installed, you can play part of that game. Now, normally that's the first part of the game, whether it's on FIFA, it's a few friendlies, or it's the tutorial session for another game. With Fast Start, they're using machine learning to work out exactly what parts of the game people play the most. So, for example, if you download FIFA, once 20% of it has been installed, you'll be able to play straight into Ultimate Team, for example, because that's the bit that people play the most. That's going to be really good for people that get a game on release day and don't want to sit there waiting for 3 hours for it all to download. On top of that, they've also announced today Fallout 4, The Division, and The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited Edition all get released on Game Pass today. So if you haven't tried Game Pass, I strongly suggest you go out and do it. I think it's £1 for your first month, or your first 2 weeks, and then after that you pay £8 a month. It's definitely worth trying out. You can stop it whenever you like, but I think Game Pass is probably the best part of the Xbox currently. So lastly, we're just going to go through some of the console exclusives. Now, as I said, they had 18 console exclusives, so I'm not going to talk about all of them there. You can find those on the trailer video. The link is below, as I said earlier. The games I'm going to talk about are the 3 main first-party games. So Xbox started their announcement today with a trailer to Halo Infinite. That's the new Halo. It looks unbelievable. It looks like old Halo. Some beautiful scenery and graphics. It hasn't shown any more than a cinematic trailer, so do check that trailer out. If you aren't going to look at the link below, do check it out just by typing in Halo Infinite trailer. The other big game announcement, and this got the biggest cheer the entire night, was Gears of War 5. Now, with Gears of War, they've also announced a mobile game called Gears of War Pop, and it's in association with the people that make the Pop Funko figures. That's going to come out on iPhone and Android. There is a turn-based RTS, turn-based strategy game, much like Command & Conquer, Gears of War, coming out on the PC. But Gears of War 5 is coming out, and my notes say it is coming out at some point in 2019, and it will be available on Games Pass on launch. Now, the game that they did go into lots of details about, and one I'm particularly looking out for, is Forza Horizon 4. Forza Horizon is the racing series that is based in an open world series, and last year's was on the coast of Italy and France. This year is going to be based in Great Britain. So hopefully I'll be able to see my house. Well, I doubt I'll be able to see my house, but at least some of the coastline near where I live. Now, the interesting thing about Forza Horizon 4 is that they're introducing it into a shared world experience. So you'll be driving along and you will see other people playing the game at the same time, and you'll be able to team up with them or go straight into a race with them whilst you're driving. The other most interesting fact about Forza Horizon 4 is seasons. Now, as the seasons, they haven't said whether this will match with the world seasons, but they have 4 seasons throughout the game: spring, summer, fall and winter. And these will dramatically change the game. So if it's winter season, the lakes will freeze up and you'll be able to drive over them and access previously inaccessible areas. If it's fall, it will be raining a lot more than normal, so it will be harder to drive. They haven't said, again, like I said, they haven't said how these seasons will work, whether it will be month to month, they'll change the season, or during your progress in the game. I imagine as a shared world experience, the seasons will change for everybody at the same time. My hope is that they change as the world changes. So winter appears as winter appears already in Great Britain through the months of November, December, January and February. So that's it. Forza Horizon looks absolutely incredible. It is coming out. It will be free with Game Pass, and it comes out on October the 2nd. So do check that out. That is probably the best piece of news I've had for the day. That wraps up our Microsoft overview. Like I said, there's just too many games to go through them one by one. Too much news to go through. So I've kind of picked out what I see as being the best parts. I do feel that for Xbox, they've done the best conference they could have done because it's all about the games, you know. And for the last few years, PlayStation has had that edge. PlayStation has had more exclusives. They've had more subscriptions to their console because of the games that they've had. This year, Xbox have gone, right, we've got the Xbox One X sorted. That's going for the next couple of years. We are going to now just talk about games, and we're going to invest in games. Talked about the Xbox One X. The last thing I'm going to say is that Phil Spence, the head of Xbox, did say right at the very end they are currently working on the next Xbox consoles. He said consoles. So it's not going to be just the Xbox One Y or Z, but there's going to be more than one console to come out. Obviously, that is far in the distant future, but it's good to know that they're already working on it. They're also working on a streaming service so that people can play Xbox games wherever they are on multiple different devices. So that's interesting too. So please, if you like the video, let me know. Like it, subscribe. I'll be coming back to you shortly with the Bethesda wrap-up. As I said, Fallout 76 has already been announced, so maybe there's something else to come out of that conference today. What did you think about the Microsoft conference? Have you checked out the trailers for the games? Let me know in the comments below. And what else you would like to see from me in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.